welcome back, Good Life Riders. Here we are today, coming into Memorial Day, so I thought I'd take you on a little ride to place flowers on the graves of my grandparents. And I'll tell you a little story about how that came to be. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Back, I think about 2009-ish, maybe even earlier than that. I think 2009, 2008-ish. My mom asked me if we would go and place flowers on the grave of her parents, because she always wanted that done and didn't live around here to do it. So then we took the kids and we went and did that, and it kind of became a tradition. Every year we would go, and every year I would take pictures of the kids. And we not only did my mom's grandparents, we also did the grandparents. They were adopted grandparents, kind of my dad. He had gotten kicked out of his house right about the time he was 17, 18, and moved to Milford. And well, he had moved to his uncle's, and then eventually moved to Milford. And the reason he moved to Milford is my grandpa Orvie Troyer used to come out and hunt elk in Wyoming with one of my great uncles. They used to kind of do some hunts, and so he went out and would go on, either help on some of these hunts or what. So he met Orvie and knew there was a automotive school at Milford, and so he went to go to that school in Milford. Kind of took care of him, watched over him, and they wound up, they never had kids of their own, so they kind of adopted our family and all of us kids as their grandparents. And I always grew up believing that I was named after Orvie, because that's what I'd always been told. And that was what the reason my dad named me Orv, and my mom had named me Orv because of a uncle that she had, or a cousin. I think it was a cousin. My mom just told me this last year. So anyhow, I go to Milford and put flowers on the graves. And 2 years ago, I did it on a motorcycle with my wife. And last year, I did it by myself on my bike. And I actually took my dad, who's cremated, tied him down on the back of the bike, and took him and did it. And now this year, I am going to take my Harley and go and do it. So we're going to bring you along for the ride. You can watch a little bit of the ride, and then we will bring you, I'll come back and talk to you a little bit as we move into the cemetery. So here as we come into town, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why I actually do this. So initially when I did it, it was just kind of cool for my children to actually learn a little bit about my grandparents that they never actually got to know. They all died probably before even my oldest son Caleb really remembers. He may remember my grandma Arlene a little bit, but so it was kind of good for that. But you know, I've kind of continued it over the years because it's become something therapeutic for me. It's kind of an opportunity to go back and look at what they've done to contribute to my life, our lives, and to think about how I can make a difference in others' lives. And so that's kind of why I've continued to do this. I think it's something that's important for us as people within our nation to remember the good things that have been passed down to us through the generations, the things we should respect, the things we should try to emulate, the good traits, the things we can try to do better for maybe their miscoming. So that was where my grandparents actually, one of their first homes in Melford and their last home in Melford. And then they took them a short ways after they passed away to the Blue Hill Cemetery. And they do a really good job here of their flag display. So there we put them, and as you can see, you know, my grandparents, Orvie and Arlene, even though they didn't have children, they made some impacts, big impacts in quite a number of people's lives. So a lot of people remember them. And I'm glad that I'm able to go and honor my mom's grandparents as well. Thankful for the lives that they lived and contributed to my life and my mom's life, and thank you. Till next time, keep the sunny side up, the rubber side down, and have an utterly awesome day.